In the modern-day world we live in, using products of technological media convergence has become a necessity. Smartphones have taken the place of other cell phones, and landlines have become practically non-existent. iPads and tablets are also well on their way to becoming accessories from which we are inseparable. This phenomenon has affected all of society, causing us to suffer from all sorts of stress. Psychologist, Associate Professor of Practice, and Chairperson of the SAPE Department at the American University in Cairo, Ann Justice, expresses her thoughts on people's growing dependence on these new technological devices.
I think some people probably do have dependency or addiction, but I certainly wouldn't say that for everyone. And I think there's a cultural influence too. I mean, when you travel around the world, you'll see different numbers of people on their phones more frequently than other places, and it's not necessarily related to SES or socioeconomic status. If someone is shy or has difficulty talking with other people, for example, so psychologically if they have what's called social phobia, being able to communicate so easily via these sorts of instruments is really nice, because lots of times people get nervous when they're talking with other people, but if they're interfacing, with their BlackBerry and they can communicate with their friends just do and don't actually have to talk with someone, that's a lot less stressful. So if we look at it on a continuum, it makes things easier in some ways, and then in some ways it decreases social ability. You've probably seen people sitting at restaurants or cafes. It's like 4 people sitting together and everyone's on their phone. They're not talking to each other. Or like kids at a dinner table. Like everyone's at the dinner table and the kids will text each other instead of talking. So in that way, it really does break down on just human communication, oral communication skills, and body language abilities, and reading body language, which of course is very important.
Being part of the new generation most affected by this issue, psychology graduating senior Isra Yasser expresses her views and concerns on this growing problem.
One thing we learn in psychology is that the brain is made to be always active, always doing something. So involving it in things like social media and in technology is pretty stressful already on the brain. We're now living in a world where everything is very accelerated. You need to do things very fast. Having something as convenient as a phone that allows you to talk to people all the time and be constantly connected really puts you on overdrive.
So how do we solve this issue and reduce our stress?
It's a choice to be connected all the time. Very few people have jobs or situations in which they have to be connected all the time, but most people are by choice. You can make a conscious effort to use that time to read, or to listen to music, or to do something that's disconnected from receiving emails or text messages or news alerts or things like that. But most people don't make that choice. Lots of times when I meet with patients who have difficulty sleeping, for example, one of the first things I tell them is turn off your phone. Don't put it on vibrate, don't turn it on silent, turn off your phone. Or plug your phone in a different room when you're trying to sleep. Because it is this reliance on technology and not taking time for ourselves, it ends up in a larger amount of stress in our lives.
Even though technologically converged media products have undeniably become an essential part of our everyday lives, it is possible to control their effects on us by limiting our use of them. Cutting back on unnecessary usage of these devices will surely help us go a long way.